Next topic. We are going to go over to me for the next topic.
Cool.
But, I mean, really, this topic's been sent in from one of our loyal fans. Give me a shout out to my homie Andrew.
Nice.
I won't say his last name out of fear of the mobs of Dudepool gaming fans that attack him on the street. They're like, "You're that Andrew guy we've never seen." He sent in a comment or a topic suggestion for us, and that topic suggestion is favorite boss battles of all time and kind of what happened to them.
Cool.
And where have like big boss battles gone, if they've gone anywhere. I really liked that topic, so we're going to talk about it. And on top of that, if you have a topic suggestion, feel free to check or to send us any suggestions for the show on our Facebook page. Just search Dudepool Gaming, or on our Twitter at Dudepool Gaming, or send us an email at dudepoolgaming@gmail.com. That's the one. Yeah, so that being said, on to the topic of our favorite boss battles of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take it away there, Taylor?
Favorite boss battle. I mean, Ocarina had a lot of good ones. I loved them. Majora's Mask had some good ones too. I enjoyed a lot of those. I like Zelda boss battles. I don't know. I mean, they're really cool. I mean, like Link to the Past had great ones. I can't really pin down my favorite right now though. Favorite boss battle.
Just ones that stand out, really.
Yeah.
Which Zelda ones are you referring to? It was the first one that popped in your head.
Well, like the last boss, like when you fight Ganon at the end of Ocarina, it's pretty intense. You know, you got the light arrows, and you're busting him with the light arrows, and then you got to hit the fucking things back at him and do the whole Pong shit with his energy balls, and then he transforms into that giant goat bear, and then you gotta like slice his rainbow tail.
Oh, Zelda.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I loved the end though, because you're like, he gets down and he's all like hurt and like dying, and he's like, ah, and he roars at you, and you stab the Master Sword right into his open mouth. Fuck, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty intense
Iconic.
when you were a kid, that's for sure.
For fucking 97 or whatever that
Nice.
was.
Yeah.
That was
Stabbed him in the face!
damn. That dude is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was a cool one, that's for sure. It was memorable. I remember a lot of people talking about that one. What about you there, Danny boy?
Well, I think my most memorable boss battle would be a fairly recent one, actually. Probably from my favorite game of all time, which is Batman Arkham City, as you know. And it's the Mr. Freeze. Fighting Mr. Freeze.
Flippin' Freeze. That's a great boss battle.
yeah,
Probably one of the
it
best
is.
ones of the last generation.
It's my favorite in
Sure.
that series for sure.
Yeah, totally.
For sure. Yeah,
It's probably the one boss battle from last generation that actually got talked about and kind of still gets talked about every now and again because of how memorable it was. And it actually made you think. And he thought, which was the cool part. He's like, "Oh, fool me once, Batman, but not again. Where's Nora? Where's my Nora, Batman?"
Screw you, Batman.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the new one, was he?
No.
That's stupid.
Well, he got beat pretty good in the last one.
He is in the new one.
Oh, he is?
In the DLC.
Really?
And it's pretty cool.
You don't really. Yeah, you don't see him.
You see him in the
He's
DLC.
in the DLC.
The new
he's in the DLC.
That kind of just came out.
I
Yeah.
see.
I thought you said in the dossier, and I was like, what?
No,
I got you. All right. That makes sense.
Ah, that's cool.
but
Yeah.
Wait,
That was
did
a
you
good
fight
one.
him? Is it a cool boss battle again?
No. Wow. You know, it mustn't have been that good because I've already kind of forgotten it. All I remember is kind of going to get his wife.
Makes
for
sense.
him.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
But I won't spoil what happens. But it's actually pretty cool
Yeah,
the
that's
way it
fair.
resolves. It's cool. There's some good stuff in that DLC. But anyway,
Cool.
Arkham City. That boss fight was a
Word.
good one.
That's your best? So that is a pretty newer one, you know? Like, I
Yeah.
guess, like, what other games are really rocking the boss fights now?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty newer, but when did that game come out? 2010?
11, I think. 2011.
11?
Yeah.
Because that was a big year with Uncharted 2 and Battlefield 3 and Arkham City.
That was a
and,
huge year, yeah.
Yeah, it was a massive year.
Right.
Great games.
Hey, Achilles.
Coming up to join the party, huh?
Our homie's coming to hang.
I think I'll know which one you're
yeah,
going to
but I
take,
mean-
McCoy.
Like Gauntlet.
No, that was Andrew's. Andrew, one of his favorite boss battles was Mr. Freeze. He had said, for most of the same reasons.
Yeah, you don't really get to hit him directly, even at all, in that boss fight. Like you have to. Well, I
Sneak
guess
attacks
you have to
and
stun
stuff,
him first before you can hit him directly.
Right, and
Yeah, then you hit him a whole whack load in the face.
Yeah.
you hit him a lot.
And he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like with newer games, like I was talking to Andrew about this just the other day, that he just played through the new Gauntlet that was free for PS Plus a couple months
Which
ago.
apparently sucks.
But he said he got all the way to the end. There was only one boss fight at the very end of the game.
Right.
And like, if you remember the old Gauntlet Legends, like there was like huge boss fights for each area, right?
Yep.
Like, each area led up to a huge boss fight. It was like the whole point of the game, essentially, is to go through these bosses and get their little like shards of this fucking window or whatever, so you could go fight another boss. Like, and now there's just like it's just not there. It's kind of weird.
It's just in that game, but that's a very mediocre game apparently. So I think reviews reflect the fact that there's just no challenge or boss fights in that. But you want boss fights, current ones? I'd look to the Dark Souls franchise.
Yeah, and Titan Souls.
And Titan Souls Titan Souls is kind of like Shadows of the Colossus, which is another one that I'll get to.
Oh yeah.
That's where the boss fights seem to, or at least the memorable giant scale bosses seem to be these days, with an actual challenge, is in the Dark Souls franchise and the Bloodborne, and those games.
Yeah.
And they're still fairly memorable and challenging, that's for sure.
Yeah, they celebrate boss battles, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the whole game is essentially one fucking mini boss battle after mini boss battle till you get to a boss.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, you're just trying to keep your health up so that you can kill the boss that's coming.
Right, but the thing is, like, it's almost like that. I don't want to say the Dark Souls and Bloodborne franchise is niche, but I don't think it's. I think it's. There's a smaller pocket of gamers that appreciate those kind of games for what they are, rather than the other games that don't have even boss fights and they're kind of a cakewalk to get through.
Yeah, but Dark Souls is quite a bit more punishing than you necessarily need it to be to have boss battles.
True,
right?
true.
Like, you don't have to just kill me and like take away my max health and like just destroy my soul.
A la Mr. Freeze, my favorite boss battles are ones that you have to actually figure out and the games kind of fuck with you. My number one boss fight of all time, Psycho Mantis.
Oh yeah.
That one, he fucks with you. Like and the thing is, when I beat that fucking bastard, I was renting the game every weekend, right? Every weekend, I'd just, for like 3-4 weekends in a row, I'd be trying to fight fucking Psycho Mantis. And then it dawns on me, he actually says something that kind of gives it away, but I was like 10 or 12 at the time. And it just dawned on me on like the 4th time renting it. I'm like, plug it into the controller port too.
Yeah.
What?
Commander Miller.
For anybody that doesn't know that boss fight out there, essentially what you have to do, he's a psychic. He has mind control powers and shit like that. And the only way to beat him is to physically unplug your controller from your console and put it in the second port. When consoles used to have ports for controllers because they had this
Brilliant
thing called
game
wires. And it was it was a mind-blowing experience because it was something that
creative,
physically
man.
I had to get off of the couch and do to beat this boss, right? So it's like breaking that fourth wall of like the game poking me like, dumbass, get your lazy ass off the couch and plug it in. Oh my god, he can beat me now. Right?
I loved
Kojima was a genius.
Because he would drop hints kind of, and Miller would call you on your little whatchamacallit, and he would kind of drop hints, and then if you didn't pick it up after like the longest time, I think you had to play through it and die a certain amount of times.
Yeah, I probably did.
We'll just call you and he'll be like, change your controller to port 2. He won't be able to control you.
There was some super obvious thing that told me, and I was like, what? I flipped out, man.
Yeah, I love that boss battle. And then he's like, they make the screen go black, and it says like Hideo in the corner, like the old TVs would.
Yeah.
When you had when it would say like auxiliary or whatever, and then like the game over screen comes up, or the mission failed thing comes up, but it says fission mailed, and you're still trying to play with that like fission mailed all over.
So brilliant.
Yeah, they
so
fuck with it.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
He says that he's gonna delete your like save files off of your memory
Oh,
card.
it's terrifying, right? Like he fucks with
He's an
you
asshole.
outside of the game. So that's why it made it so memorable to me,
Gets
and
in your head.
It's great.
it's definitely one of the best. Yeah, he gets in your fucking head, which is it actually speaks towards that character too, right? So many layers to that boss fight that was just
Very
so
much
good.
so, yeah.
Yeah, there's another one in that game it's not quite as crazy, but it's really cool. I like it. You fight Liquid, and he's in a helicopter, and you're on top of a skyscraper.
Right.
And Liquid keeps like going below the skyscraper and like kind of going around it. And the only like the way that it was designed for you to beat it is that you were supposed to have stereo audio on your TV. You had to have stereo audio essentially, so that you could hear the helicopter going from left to right or whatever going around the skyscraper. So if you didn't have stereo audio, then like as soon as you started the boss battle, Captain Miller or whatever, Commander Miller would call you, and he'd be like, "Snake, wait, you don't have stereo audio?" He's like, "Oh no!" And then like one of the other people would chime in. They're like, "Oh no, Snake, don't tell me it's not true." Like, it's okay, Snake. He's like, I prescribe to the idea that stereo audio does not make the man. I think you can do this without it, Snake. And then you have to
pretty
still
funny.
fight the battle. It's
Really?
great. Yeah, I loved that shit.
Oh, it made me sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah, Hideo is really good. Or I don't know. I mean, in the newer one, those boss battles were not tickling my nutsack, that's for sure. But the older ones, they were great. I mean, even in MGS4, when you have to like refight new Psycho Mantis, who's like, I don't know, he's like his consciousness is now in some other chick or whatever.
Yeah, that was
Right.
weird. You got like the 4 soldiers or whatever, right?
No,
Chick drones. Oh no, I'm thinking of different. Never mind.
no,
Never mind.
I don't
It all
think that's
just
in it.
came flooding-
It's in
flooding
like
back.
the same library. She's like got the 4 arms, and she controls Meryl again, who's gonna like shoot you in the face.
Oh, I do
again.
remember that now. Yeah. I just kind of blocked 4 out of my head.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, they could have. They don't use the same sort of like.
Doesn't matter.
You know.
I don't want to knock
outside
on
the
Metal
box.
Gear. What was the other one? I want to give a Metal Gear boss battle shout out to the end.
Oh,
I was gonna say something about him, but yeah, I'm glad you brought him up.
Yeah,
That's creative
that was
as
an
well.
awesome sniper battle with that guy. But the coolest part was something I didn't find out until years later.
You can just kill him.
Because he's so old, I'm gonna fuck this up. I know it's not 100% accurate, but there's something like if you wait, I think it was something ridiculous. Like if you wait a week.
It's a week.
Okay, I was gonna say a year.
No.
But a week. Yeah, so you go into your internal clock and you change the settings on your PS2, and then
Dies
you
a
go
little
and
bit.
load the game, he'll be dead.
Yeah.
He'd have died of old age.
Yeah, you have to be in the boss battle. You have to save in the boss battle.
Yeah.
And if you save in the
Right.
boss battle and then you come back to it before the week is up, he's just right beside you with a pistol to your head, and he just blows your head off.
Wow.
To be
Game
honest,
over.
That's awesome.
So it
well,
destroys your save file for the week. And then if you come back and load that save file after the week, he's just dead.
Wow.
But you don't even have to do that boss battle. You can actually, like, before
Kill him,
before
yeah.
you meet him, there's a secret sniper rifle that you can find. And then there's the video where they kind of introduced Lieutenant Surge or whatever the fuck that dude's name is, and
Lightning Man.
and the end. And so they come out of like these huge doors, and there's like a guy pushing the end in a wheelchair up to like the, I don't know, the banister or whatever. And then after the video, there's like a part where the guy's pushing the end back through the doors in the wheelchair, and you can just snipe the end right in the back of the head and kill him.
I do remember that. Yeah, totally.
And then
I thought
once you
that was
get to the
cooler
boss
than
battle
waiting,
area,
you know?
he's just not there.
They're so cool, man.
Yeah.
Just that's like, again, another boss battle that has different layers to it. Super cool.
Yeah, no, that is some top-notch
That's
boss
a
battle.
great
making.
game.
Right?
Yeah, 3 is
So
probably my
good.
favorite.
The other one that Andrew brought up that definitely needs to be talked about, Shadows of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole game based on boss fights.
16 of them, right?
And really, really well done boss fights, too.
Oh, yeah. And all really different.
There's,
Yeah.
that game was fucking amazing. I loved...
Masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a masterpiece. Absolutely. I loved the Sand Dragon.
Yeah.
Was awesome. That was Jess from our work. Who's also going to be on the show at some point.
Yeah.
He was talking about the Sand Dragon when I brought up that we were talking about boss battles this week.
Right.
And he said the same thing. That one really left a lasting impression. You have to jump onto its wings as it flies past you and shit, and then climb on it as it's flying, and then just start gouging it in the head and shit. Like, oh, so cool. Mm-hmm. The other one I really liked that fucked with me forever was the bird, the water bird or whatever.
Right.
You have to like
Swoops
stand on the
down,
rocks in the middle of the lake and then jump on it as it's flying right at you.
Yeah,
Right,
I do remember that one. Yeah.
Fuck, that one took me so long to figure out.
Is that the one where you're on like you have to climb up this annoying like set of platforms to get to a higher platform over a lake, and then and it knocks you off, and you have to fucking reclimb up it every time.
Yep.
Oh, that one's so annoying.
Oh, it's a nightmare, right? It's just so well done, though. All the actual bosses themselves and the climbing areas and stuff like that was modeled so well for the PS2 era. Right? Like, that game could have easily came out as a PS3 launch title, in my opinion.
Totally, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, the remaster
That's how good it looked and played.
Isn't too much different, I would say, from the PS2 version of it.
I couldn't speak to that. I don't know. I haven't seen comparisons.
Yeah, I guess I've never seen them side by side. But I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What, the remaster?
Yeah. I would imagine it looks different, but
It looks a lot smoother, and the frame rate is basically doubled.
Yeah, I remember it being a pretty choppy game on the PS2.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's
crazy.
We put up with things like that back then, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Not so much now.
I put up with that shit in Mad
Well,
Max.
I've gone back and played it in the past, not for a couple years now, but at least a year or two ago, I went back and played a little bit of it, but not the remaster. I just haven't. I had it on PS2.
Right,
I have the remaster
You have the
now.
remaster, yeah.
I haven't played it. I just have it because I've beaten the game a few times on PS2.
Yeah, I gave
but
it
when
to
I
you.
went back to play it, I remember thinking that the frame rate had a bit of a stutter to it. Yeah. On the PS2, but still, fucking what a game.
Totally.
Here's hoping that The Last Guardian's got some cool boss fights in it, on top of some decent puzzles.
Let's hope so.
I hope it blends Ico and Shadows of the Colossus fairly well.
Yeah.
It seems like it is, but
Looks like it. Looks like you got the cool puzzle aspect to it.
Definitely.
I hope there's no annoying girl that I have to protect.
well, now you got giant bird dog, right? You got to lead bird dog through the areas instead.
Yeah,
of
exactly. That's the better part, though, because
Yeah.
I don't have to protect Bird Dog. I am the
hopefully
little
not.
squirt.
Well, he's apparently
You are
afraid
the
of those
little
like little dream catcher looking things that.
Who wouldn't be? They're terrifying.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to protect him from those.
Yeah, but you don't control Bird Dog. You
No,
send
but-
him places, and he goes and takes them out for you.
No, he won't. He won't go near these. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
these-
he's afraid of those.
he's
Right,
afraid
right.
of these like little these
Yeah.
little signs, and you have to like get rid of them before he'll like go past them or whatever. That's one of the puzzle aspects. Yeah.
I'm just glad that game's coming out at all. I was worried for a long time.
I thought it was just. Gonna
I'm
be
still
one
a
of those
little
things.
worried. But
No, I think it'll come out this year. I would be stunned if it didn't.
is there a date?
I don't
Pretty
think
sure
there is yet.
They said it would be out this year. Like, yeah.
I know
yeah.
they said
said this year,
2016,
for
but I
sure.
don't think they gave a month or a date, which is never a good sign.
We might find out at E3 or something like that, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next big one that's around? I don't know.
Yeah,
PAX
so
or
this is
something.
2016.
It's something. There's so many conventions and conferences now. It's so
Yeah,
hard
there's
to
too
track
many.
them all.
That's another topic, right?
That sure is.
Yeah, that's a good one. Way to go, Dan.
Write it down.
Well, that covers over most of our favorite boss fights of all time, I think. Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Andrew.
much, Andrew, for sending that one in. We
You
love
are a
you
rock
very, very
star,
much.
Andrew.
You are. And we'll play with you online soon, amigo. That being said, we're going to move on to our third topic of the day.